Good morning. Today is the 21st of May and this is the 2022 Retro Rides Weekender at the Goodwood Motor Circuit in West Sussex. We're just in the car park now because I didn't bring a Rover today. It's a little bit too new. It's all about pre-2000 cars, and although this 1999 Volkswagen Polo Mark III could actually go into the retro parking, you do actually have to be accepted. It would have been accepted, I think, but there we go. It's just something spotted the car park as we go in. I'm happy to actually review one of these quite soon, because this is the very first car that I ever owned. It was a green one on an S plate. This is an automatic. The one I had was a manual, but also a 1.4 CL. I do know of someone who actually has one of these, so expect to see that relatively soon. If we go down here, we can actually see another car which very much would have been able to go in. This 1965 Jaguar Mark II. Oh, got planes going over as well today. 1965 Jaguar Mark II. Not quite the first beige leather interior of the day, viewers, but not too far off. That's rather nice. As is this 1994 Mark II facelift Volkswagen Polo Coupe. This is a Boulevard edition, and of course, like many cars in Retro Rides Weekender, we've got aftermarket steering wheel and alloy wheels, which is just the way that it's to go. This one's only got a 4-speed gearbox, so I think this is probably the 1050cc model. Local plate to the air, actually PX. We'll see if we can see another couple of things before we actually go into the main show. Volvo 940. I've actually done a review of one of these on the channel. This has got a personal plate on it, but this is the sort of earlier one, I think. I don't know exactly what year it will be, mid-90s. This is the 2.3 engine with an enormous exhaust, of course. Oh, that's nice. 1990 only Mark II Ford Orion 1.6 with green bits on it. And it's got a it's got a rear opening bonnet, viewers. That's interesting. As is this lowered Toyota Chaser. I think it's a Toyota Chaser. I don't know what year this is actually, viewers. Who knows? But yes, it's the sort of thing we're going to see a lot of here today. More planes. EG Civic hatch here. I actually did a review of one of these. It wasn't modified like this, but did a review of one of these back in 2020 when you could sort of still buy these for under £1,000. Obviously, you can't buy an EG Civic hatch for under £1,000 anymore, particularly not one like this. And this has got the VTEC, so clearly not. Right, there's a little Mini over there, which we'll then take a look at that and then we'll go inside. Oh, I've just seen the BX. We might take a look at those before we go into the main event and start shambolically shuffling our way around. Of course, it goes without saying that I apologise for the wind noise. I can hear the wind in the background now. There's nothing whatsoever I can do about that. If I fall over, if I get things wrong, if I get interrupted by announcements, it's just the way that it goes on this channel, I'm afraid. And you know, some of you will just know that. 1965 Austin Mini Cooper by Speedwell. This car's got a slightly different body shell on it though. It's got the original style sort of rear lights on it, but it's got doors from a later model on it. Now I don't know what that actually means. You should have the external door hinges and on this and things like that, but yes, maybe you Mini experts will tell me exactly what's been going on with this, because it's not quite standard. But then if I showed you every single car here that's not quite standard, we'd be shuffling around here forever, so we won't do that. We'll just go and have a look at that BX. 1989 to 1990 Citroen BX 16 valve. Is this a GTI, viewers? Just a 16 valve. I think this is the sort of very sporty one. It's even got ABS, which you might need if you're sort of thundering along. They're very keen to let you know it is 16 valve. I was going to do a BX review earlier this year, but the car I was going to film, well, it had some problems, and so it had to be abandoned. Right, let's get ourselves inside. Well, viewers, we've arrived in the right place. 1985 Vauxhall Nova 1.3 GL. I think these wheels are off something like a GSI or a GT. They could be off an SR as well. I don't actually know, but this is, I think, is an pre-facelift one. There were two facelifts for the Nova. This is before the first one of those, with some nice Opel branded spot lamps. That is very nice. I did a walk around of a 1.2L Nova on the channel a few months ago, but it wasn't in the sort of condition that this is in. This is absolutely and utterly beautiful. Now this is Lada. Now I think I've seen this before actually at Brooklands. It's an 86 or 87 registration, but this is the sort of older body style, which was still sold in Russia at the time, but by the sort of era of this, we'd officially in this country gone over to the Revas, but they still were making this original style of Lada until, well, I don't know, some point in the 90s, I think. Someone's put some beige leather seats in the front, of which I do very much approve, viewers. Focus RS Part 1. Ooh, it's early Mark III Escort with the kind of interesting grill on it. Now those wheels I think are off a Series 2 RS Turbo actually. Obviously Mark III, Mark IV Escort bits sort of bolt on and off easily. This is a sort of 81, 82 car though, so much earlier than those wheels. I think this would be something like a GL. I don't think it's a gear. Again, that gear lever and the steering wheel have been changed. Volkswagen Scirocco. This is a Mark II. It's quite a late one. It's a 90 to 91 registration. We'll see actually if we can identify what trim level this is. This GT2. I remember these sort of rear lights, viewers, from back in the day. It was sort of very common modification, very sensible actually, that little thing there to get some ventilation in without somebody taking your car. Mark II Seat Ibiza. This is after the first facelift, but before the second sort of more major one, a 99. So just sort of slipping in. I don't know what trim this is. I'm not sure if this is a Cooper or what it is actually. But these are really rare. The only ones you ever see of this generation are actually the really late ones, which is the sort of final facelift that came in around 2000. So that is extraordinary. Local plates, of course, from Portsmouth, I think, BK, but right away over to places like Romsey and Winchester as well. Some Saabs. This is a 95. I don't know what year that is, to be honest. Personal plate, so no idea. It's like so many of the other things, I can't tell you unless I actually look up every single individual car using the DVLA checker, and I haven't got time for that, unfortunately. So there we go. This though, 1994 to 5 Saab 9000 CSE. I would very much like to drive something like this, viewers. I haven't been ever offered one of these actually. We have had a go on another car on the Type 4 platform recently, the Alpha 164 that some of you would have seen on Sensible Secondhand Classics. But you know, one of these would be most agreeable as well. Oh, this is an Aero. Getting the same kind of era. I think this is a personal plate, so I don't know exactly what it is, but yes, of course, all the leather, all the luxury, and some very fast Swedish action with a big exhaust as well. One of these mini pickup. This is a 73 to 74 registration. I'll one day stop talking about the fact that the sliding windows, house-style door handles, and the exposed hinges, and the painted metal grille, well, this one's been changed, have continued with a mini pickup right the way through to end of production in 82. Mark 1 Volkswagen Golf GTI. This is a facelift, 1982 to 83 registration, so quite a late Mark 1 GTI. I'm very seats out of the Mark 2. I don't know, but that dash and the gear lever look original to me. I think we're going to be seeing quite a few of these as we go along throughout the day. 1970 to 71 MG Midget. One I drove actually on the channel ended last year was 68. So I think it's still in this mark. We've got this square arches there. Interesting seats in there. The main problem I had with the one I drove was no synchro mesh on bottom gear, which caused no end of problems for me. 2000 Volvo V70 first generation. This looks beautiful. I love this colour. Very late first generation V70, because the second generation ones came out on a V plate, so this would have been from leftover stock, but the colour of this is amazing. Mr. Coleman, Rubbish Mechanic, absolutely loves these, and well, so do I. The only thing that would improve that for me viewers would be a beige leather interior, as most of you know. 1990 to 91 Nissan Micro K10. I did actually drive one of these on my channel last year, belonging to Alex from Max's Assets. This is a much nicer specification one than the base model that I drove. I've actually got things like internally adjustable mirrors on this. 1988 to 89 Nissan Bluebird. I think this is a T72 with some interesting wheels. Have I split rims on that? This one's an automatic. Yeah, 1.8 GS. The slow and the laborious. Now this is a replica of a Cooper. That's a 88 to 89 registration, so this isn't a real one. Again, the Coopers were made until I think about 71, so you know, way kind of off terms of the date. But we've got some mini lights which look good on a lot of cars apart from minis. We've got the earlier style rear lenses on this one, so later body shell. I don't know what this would have been out of. There's so many special editions of trim levels with these 80s minis. I don't even know what those seats are out of, but it says, what does it say? Can't read that. I think I'm just going to have to sort of walk away, viewers, because I keep getting things wrong, and it probably annoys a lot of you when it happens. 2001 first generation Audi S3. Again, this car came out with the sort of lesser versions in 1996, so definitely this generation's eligible for it. What do we have here? N13 Nissan Sunny. Let's go to the end of the row and look at this Ford Probe, and then we will work our way back down. 1996 or 97 Ford Probe. Is this for V6 or the 2 litre? That's an interesting colour interior. Interesting colour car in general. Oh, it's for 2 litre. Built in Flat Rock, Michigan, of course, and based on the same platform as the Mazda MX-6. 1980 to 81 W123 Mercedes-Benz 280e. This is the top of the range, I think, for the W123s. This one's an automatic. And yes, beige is going on, but not the right kind of beige interior quite yet. We will keep going, viewers, until we find a beige leather interior. Another Ford Orion. This is a Mark 1 Orion with some RS wheels on it. I do like the early Orion tail lights. This is so it's 85 to 86. The Mark 2s came out middle of 86, I think. This is 1.6 gear, which is what we like, viewers. It's the sort of thing that So I like full instruments and things like that, unlike the sort of lesser models of the Mark III Escort, which didn't really have many. And as Mr. Bill on the Fuel Power channel says, this one could be yours. Particularly with some very fetching spot lamps and interesting front bumper. Ooh, 1987 to 1988 Mini Jet Black Edition. Again, someone's put more comfortable seats in this, because the original seats I don't find very comfortable on original Minis, I'm afraid, viewers. I didn't get on with those too well when I drove one of these in 2020, but that's probably a bit better. Ooh, it's an early N13. I think these came out late 86, early 87, so on a D that would make sense. It's a 3-door, might well be a sort of a 1.4 actually, like this. I have done a review of an N13 Sunny, but it was a later one in the saloon, the top of the range one. 1996 to 7 Mazda MX-3. I wonder if this is the V6 engined one, viewers. I'm not actually sure. Some of them didn't actually have that engine, they hit to 1.6, but someone who can actually have the time to do the reg check will let me know, I'm sure. 1985 to 86 Vauxhall Nova. I think this has just been rebadged into an Opel. It's difficult to say because they've taken the steering wheel off, so who knows. It's probably a rebadged Nova with it being right-hand drive and just modified. It looked like a bit like a Corsa because that seems to be the cool thing these days. But yeah, that's unlike the last one we saw. That's first facelift one. 1989 to 90 BMW 5 Series. It's called the E34. Mr. Wooler from the Max Beamer channel will very much enjoy this, I'm sure. It's quite an early one of these. 535i. Should have known that with the sort of things like the twin tailpipes, and also the fact that it's got the headlamp washers. Early mirrors and the earlier steering wheel. No airbags yet. Ooh, Ford LTT Crown Victoria. 1987 to 88. Though some of you who are experts in these cars, of which I am not, will be able to tell me straight away whether this is an 87 or 88. I don't actually know. But this platform actually was used right the way through to I think 2011 when they finally discontinued the Crown Victoria. At the time this is only the LTT Grand Top, this is an LX model. Sort of later rear end. Just think it's got these little symbols for the crown on the back. I don't know whether that was standard or not. Car we're going to see a lot of today, I'm sure, just like last year. E30 BMW 3 Series. This one, I think, is an interesting. I think I've seen this before. I don't think this is standard UK spec. That steering wheel straight away suggests to me that it isn't. Although it's right-hand drive. This might be from like South Africa or something like that. I'm not actually sure. But that does look rather nice. It's not an M3 because all the M3s were left-hand drive. So yeah, 1991. This 8990. This is an E30 Touring. Looks relatively standard apart from those wheels. I don't know what those are off. Who knows? Someone's been to Goodwood Revival. This is a this is a 318i. So I think that was the lowest one in the Touring range. I didn't think they got the 316s, but I might be wrong about that. Another one of these E30s. That's a personal plate, so I don't know what year it is. Likely to be around the time of a personal plate, I think. It's definitely a facelifted one. It's looking very, very clean indeed. E36, again, we're going to see a lot of these today, no doubt. I don't know what year this is. It's might be something like a... no, it's not an IS because it says it's got a 2.5 24 valve in it, so we make it a 325, I think, although I'm not sure. Another one of these K10 Micros. This one's been modified a bit. Again, a facelifted one, 8990. Started life as a 1.2 GSX, but it probably isn't quite that. It's particularly when you've got an enormous big rev counter and a steering wheel that comes off and a very interesting looking gear lever in it. And some yellow headlamps for no reason I can quite ascertain. Oh well. 1970 to 71, Hillman Import Imp derivative. It could be a Singer Chamois or something like that. I'm not sure. It's probably a modified imp. Ooh. Swindon Civic. It's what we call these 5-door Civics that are on the same platform as the HHR Rover 400. This is a facelifted one. It's from late 99 or early 2000. I like these wheels. They're either standard or they're period correct upgrade. I quite like that. It's got a beige interior view. We're not quite there though yet. We haven't quite found a beige level one. 1.4 IS, so just a base model. I think it's got 89 horsepower, that will have. From Balmoral Garage, yes, it's not too far from here actually. HO, local plate to the area from the time. Another E30 BMW. I knew you were going to be loads of these here today. 327i. So someone's brought the engine out a little bit. This isn't the Bauer convertible, I don't think. I think it's just the standard factory one. D, but I don't know what year that is. This is an earlier E30 with contrasted ones we've seen a little bit earlier on. Pre-facelift with bits of sort of chrome on the side. This is actually in very nice condition. It's completely standard as well. So yes, 86, 87 registration. I think the facelift was about 87. It's just a 318i. It's not the base model. That was the 316. Not too far off. Again, Alpina wheels, flared sort of arches. It sort of looks a bit like an M3, but of course it can't be because it's right-hand drive for a start. Someone's enjoying being here in the background there, and that is low. You don't want to go over any speed bumps in that at all, otherwise you'll inflict some serious damage. Another E30 here, again a relatively late one. Don't know where these gold wheels came from. It must be a popular period upgrade or something. I don't know. I don't know what those are off. They're aftermarket ones. I like this in the interior. The steering wheel, again, one of these sort of upgrade things people put on these days. It's a 318 IS. I should have remember seeing it before. 1966 Volvo Amazon. Grindelwald. So it's been in Switzerland. There we go. Look at that interior. Isn't that amazing? Some nice white walls as well. Looks pretty good. Another one of these E34 5 Series. This is wearing some nice standard, I think it's a BBS wheels. My mother's E34 that she had from 2001 to 2009, which was a touring, had wheels like this as well. It was only a 520. This is a 525. Again, it's one of the sort of earlier ones. It hasn't got the airbag and it's got the older style mirrors, so it's not quite as the type that she had, but it's very nice. An automatic just like the one that she had as well. This is the one before the S-Class. I forget the model code. It's maybe W08, W09, W108, W109, something like that. I can't remember the years. These came out around 65. Although this one is a little bit later than that. It's left-hand drive. It's sort of cream. 280 SEL 4.5. I don't know. Ooh, Mustang. How many of these are going to be here today? 68, 69 registration on this one. Gold interior. Very, very gold. This one's for 289 V8. There we go. Renault 8, it's not the longer Renault 10. I think we've seen this before, viewers, because the engine is in the back. That is just a fuel tank. This has been sort of modified a bit. Oh, it's in there. Weird. Ooh, Porsche 944 Turbo, 1989 to 90, with a very large sunroof. Very nice. That steering wheel and those gauges, I don't think they're standard though. Not really matters particularly, but yeah, point these out anyway because that's the sort of people we are on this channel. Holden Monaro, I'm not entirely sure what year this is. I imagine sort of early 2000s actually. They were sold as Vauxhall Monaro a bit later on, but this is a Holden badged one, based on the same platform as the Vauxhall Omega at the time, although very, very different in the way it looks, different dash and everything. Normally these were, I think, V8 powered, so quite fast. Ford Galaxy 500. Yeah, 1966. It's interesting always going to these events and looking at the sort of main mixed retro parking, because you never know what's going to be next to something else. That is pretty special. 1996 to 7 Volkswagen Golf Mark III VR6. Again, I expect to see quite a few Mark IIIs today. We're up that sort of event. This one's a 3-door. I did make a 5-door. Quite a late Mark III. I think the Mark IV's appeared on an S plate, so not too far off. E46, BMW M3. I mean, it's probably early 2000s, but again, that's probably a personal plate. I don't know. Maybe it's an original one. 1992 to 1993 Volkswagen Golf Mark I Cabrio. Now they made these right up until the sort of early years of the Mark III. They didn't change the design for the Mark II, although I think that is a Mark II dash in this. But I could be wrong. It looks very, very like a Mark I dash, so it could just be the original one. That's a Mark II steering wheel though, and a Mark II gear lever. I love this colour. This is pretty nice. It's the sort of thing that Mr. Quirk from Planet Auto is very much into, this sort of thing. Mercedes-Benz 190. This is a very early 190. It's 8384 registration. It's not actually got the latest style of windscreen wiper on it. It's a single wiper, but not the one that has this sort of funny arc on it. So quite an early one. I think from memory I've seen this before in one of the videos on Lot 76 Cars channel. I think this is an 84. But yes, extraordinary. None of the kind of sort of side cladding get on the later ones. Ski nose Volkswagen Passat. I forget the B number. I think this is Mark III. Yeah, it's a Mark III. These are very, very rare cars now. Extraordinarily rare. You just don't see them anymore. Is this a Datsun 260Z, viewers? Because if it is, I have driven one of these. Oh, it's not. It's the it's a Fairlady Z, but it's left-hand drive. So I imagine this is an American one then, because if it would be a real Fairlady, it would be right-hand drive. So about 75, 76, about the same era as the 260Z that I drove. More Nissan Bluebird action in a colour I don't think was probably standard from the factory. So yeah, I think that's a 272 Bluebird, 88, 89, made in Sunderland. See if this actually does still have the trim designation on the back. It probably won't because it's been repainted. No, it doesn't. 1980 to 81 Chevrolet Camaro Z28. As Mr. Bill from the Fuel Power channel says, this could be yours because it's for sale. Sort of the Lada front end on this. These were made actually in this generation from 1970 to 81, so a very long life. And we'll finish off this first part with this early Metro 8182 registration. Obviously someone's fitted different wheels to it, because the original steel wheels that would have been on this HLE, which is the HLE, it's got the higher fourth gear for extra economy. But the original wheels on this, you cannot get tyres for these anymore. You just can't get them. So you see a lot of these fitted with MG Metro alloys and things like that, just so you can get to the tyres. But yes, the high spec front end with the fog lamps. Thank you so much indeed once again for watching this first part of the Slightly Shambolic Shuffle round of the 2022 Retro Rides Weekender. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel for other parts. Like this video and leave a comment below. And we shall see you again for more evidence of me trying not to fall over.